and welcome to another webisode of I'm Not an Expert, but I got an opinion. I hate slave movies. I really do hate them. But I might watch 12 Years a Slave just to see Lupita Nyong'o. And I finally can pronounce her name. But she's absolutely beautiful. But I do really hate slave movies. I know my past. I know my ancestors' history and what they went through. I don't usually like to see it broadcast on a huge screen. It's really just disturbing images. And then a lot of times with Hollywood movies, they try to make slavery look nice, and there was nothing nice about that. And they try to focus on other things but the slavery. But I've heard good things about 12 Years a Slave, so I'm gonna have to check that out. It won the Golden Globes, and I believe it's nominated for an Oscar, so I'm gonna have to check that out. And also the performance of Lupita Nyong'o, who's absolutely gorgeous. Another thing I wanted to talk about is Blood, Sweat, and Heels. And the third episode recently aired, and it was some hot mess on there. You got Mika, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. She's the former model chick that looks like she has a drinking problem, and Melissa Ford. They were at a event for Geneva, who is a new brand manager for Uptown Magazine, and that party was for her, celebrating her new job. And Mika and Melissa Ford, they just showed that they have absolutely no class. And somebody needs to get the former model chick, Mika, to AA very quickly. Because they just wowed out. But I have to say, my girl, Bree Bythewood, she is a class act. She's such a lady. And I really, really like her. I like her. She's very classy. But then again, I do understand that if the show was full of Bree Bythewoods, it would be no show, and it would be very boring. I'm sort of warming up to Daisy. Daisy is the chick that wears all the neon colors. I still don't get that. Nobody has still told me why Daisy thinks neon colors are cute, because they're not. But I like her. She has a nice personality. And then you got Demetrius. I hate that her name is even close to mine, because she is such a mean person. And Geneva, and that's the one that had the promotion or the new job at Uptown Magazine. But looking at the third episode of Blood, Sweat, and Heels, which comes on Bravo, it made me think, because they had something where the blogger wrote, which is Demetrius, wrote something that happened in her life. And as a blogger, I can relate to that. As a writer, you take things from your life and you write about those. Unfortunately, some of the people like Daisy and Geneva, and even Bree Bythewood, it didn't really set well with them. I'm not really sure how Demetria wrote it, where maybe it was something they should be offended by, but I can say, as a blogger, I have written about things that go on in my life and not necessarily ask the person, oh, can I write this? But then again, I don't use names. I just want to speak about, as a person that's very opinionated, such as myself, I've recently ran into, I guess, a situation, or I recently found out that someone I consider a friend is offended by me, basically, and they're offended by both my views and the way I express them. So that's always something that, as a writer, as a blogger, as me being just a very opinionated person, I happen to run across. It's unfortunate because I never mean to offend anyone by expressing my views. So I can apologize for, oh, I'm sorry that you're offended by how I express my views, but I'm never going to apologize that I have my views, because no one, I never feel that someone has to apologize to me because they have opinions. I definitely am strong in my opinions, and when I meet others that disagree with me and are strong in their opinions, I'm never offended by them. I just see it as that's their opinion. You know, everyone has opinions like everyone has assholes. It doesn't make, just because someone is strong in them, it doesn't make them right. And I also don't feel that it makes them an asshole either. But I can admit that sometimes I am an asshole. I'm a candy-coated asshole. And I don't have any type of issue with being that. My truth that I speak anytime that I write, anytime that I come on a webisode of I'm not an expert, but I'm giving you my truth is 100% of what I feel. And whether it's negative or whether it's positive, you will know that I'm not bullshitting you. I'm giving it to you straight. Always. And so I can understand what Demetrius went through by saying, oh, I'm going to write about this. Because I think most bloggers and most writers take everyday life and say, I can use this. But moving on, I seen another thing. I seen a thing on Twitter, and it was basically asking the question, do men really care if women wear headscarves to bed? The short answer is no. But then I said, hey, it is some men that prefer their women not to wear headscarves to bed. Those men are single, especially if they are dating black women, because black women need to wrap up their hair. My sister is a hairstylist. She says the hair will be sticking up over their head if they don't wrap it up. I can understand that. So either they look not so pleasant with the headscarf when they go to bed, or they wake up and they look like a wild animal when you wake up next to it. It doesn't really matter to me. You know, to be 100% honest, headscarves is not the most attractive thing in the world, but if you're going to sleep, who the fuck cares? But waking up next to a wild animal, that's another thing. So maybe I'll opt for the headscarf and be sure to wake up to something that doesn't look like an animal. Another thing, I recently attended a tattoo party. Definitely not my first. Probably won't be my last. I have no tattoos, but I was asked, was tattoo parties a Chicago thing? I have no fucking idea, because I lived in Chicago. I've never lived any place else, so you have to tell me. Is tattoo parties a Chicago thing? I Googled it, and it did come up that, you know, other people who have tattoo parties. I'm not sure if that's just a Chicago thing, but it's not the first that I've attended. I'm sure it won't be the last. I don't have any, but the event was titled Ink and Drinks. I just decided to drink. That's it for. I'm not an expert, but God damn it, I got an opinion. Thank you, and I look forward to bringing you another webisode. I'm not an expert, but